Hey guys, finally getting around to showing you the conclusion to the new mold that I made for the new helmet. So I ran through how to make a mold like this, did a series of videos on the silicone on the inside, how to get that, the lip on the exterior, making the exterior mother mold out of aqua resin and mod rock and so on. So now I'm going to show you guys what it takes to actually cast from it now. This is the plastic that I use. So you'll see once again, just like the silicone and the aqua resin, it comes in two parts, part A, part B. I use smooth cast 65. 65 refers to its shear hardness. The higher this number, the more rigid and strong the plastic, but also potentially more brittle. So this is a semi-rigid. It is a little bit flexible when it's in thin amounts. It has some bend and flex to it. It has two parts, part A, part B. You mix them 1-to-1 by volume, or 100 to 93 by weight. So typically speaking, it's fairly forgiving. Typically speaking, what I do is I just pour into plastic cups and measure it out on a gram scale by grams, get them as close as I can, and then pour part B into part A. The remainder that's left over typically makes the difference, and it's fine. So I would pour, let's say 10 grams or more, let's say 25 grams. 25 grams of part A into here, and 25 grams of part B into a separate cup, and then pour from part B into part A. Mix it all together, and that's now going to set into a hard plastic. It sets fairly quickly. I don't know, maybe depends on, maybe less than 5 minutes, 2-3 minutes, sometime in that range. This plastic, particularly Smoothcast 65, this is meant to be rotocast, which means it is built, or it was created, for molds like this, where you pour the plastic into the opening. Obviously, I would have all this clamped shut with clamps to prevent anything from leaking through the seam lines. You clamp all of it together. You pour the plastic into the opening, and you move this around. You're constantly keeping it moving, rotating. You're supposed to try and slush coat the interior of the mold. This sets very quickly from a very, very, very viscous liquid to a thick gel to a solid very quickly. So what you want to do is, while it's still liquid, you coat as much, you get it as smoothly coating the interior, and then it rapidly sets. It's also self-leveling, so if you pour it out, it maintains a level, and it doesn't need to be degassed or anything like that, which is nice. So, in order to make it usable, because it sets so fast, for a large mold like this, I do multiple coats. Now this takes a little bit of practice, because, let's say a helmet, I don't know, let's say it's gonna weigh in, if I were to weigh a finished cast helmet at 1,200 grams. I wouldn't just pour 600 and 600 of those two and mix a full 1,200 together and dump it into here. That's a good way to come out with a completely garbage, absolute trash piece. I would pour it in sets of 50 and 50, 50 and 50, 50 and 50, 12 different batches on both sides, and put it into this in groups of 100 grams at a time. Wait till it coats to a gel, and right as it starts to solidify, pour in the next set of 100. Wait till that coats to a gel, and right as it starts to solidify, pour in the next set of 100, and so on. And slowly build the coating all the way through. This allows a smoother and more consistent finish. It allows me to keep the plastic moving around because it sets very quickly. You pour it in a large amount, you're going to end up with a massive clump of 1,000 grams in one section and nothing on the other because it'll just go from liquid to solid very fast. So I went ahead, and I remember the whole reason that I remade this was because I wanted to get a better finish than I could get with the old mold by casting the new polished helmet. So I went ahead and off camera made a cast from that helmet, from that mold. So this is a pull from that helmet, from that mold. Now, it has some problems. It's not perfect, but it is so much better than the other mold was. First off, it might be difficult to see this, but it's much smoother. I mean, there's not a whole lot of dimpling and problems, which is perfect. It does have, there was a rip when I took the mold out at the top of the silicone, which means this is a problem in the helmet. So that I would have to repair that in every subsequent cast from this mold, which is unfortunate, but it still would be a lot better. Like I said, as opposed to trying to remake this now, which would take me weeks, for me to get this to what I would consider functional would only take me maybe a couple days or a few hours. So I'm pretty pleased with it. Overall, I'm very pleased. So then now I can make multiple versions of that.